Hi everyone, it's Holly and I am here to talk about TV shows again. So a few weeks ago, or maybe like a month ago, I don't know, time flies, man. I posted a video about the TV shows I am currently watching, and I think I said in there that I wanted to do a video about some of my favorite TV friendships, so that's what this video is about. I will say that I'm like a hopeless romantic, and I'm gonna just keep touching my hair. I'm a hopeless romantic. I love romance. I joke that you could put like an apple and an orange in front of me and I would tell you that they love each other and they can't be together because they are two different fruits, and it's tragic because I love romance that much. I will see romance anywhere and everywhere. However, I also love friendship. I think friendship is one of the hardest things to write, whether it be in a book or a TV show or a movie, but I'm not really a movie person, I'm more of a TV show person. So it's one of my favorite things to see in a TV show is a really good friendship, and nothing ruins a good friendship more than turning it into a romance. I'm looking at you, Warehouse 13. I'm looking at you. I also love all of these TV shows, so in general I would suggest watching them, but here are my favorite friendships. So first, easily is Leverage. And first of all, Leverage does a really good job of, there's 5 main characters, of kind of like pairing them off in different pairs throughout the series just to kind of see what happens. I think a lot of times the writers are just testing things, and that had resulted in some really fun interactions. And so my favorite characters on the show are hands down Hardison, Elliot, and Parker. And they're kind of like the kids, I feel like, on the show. And I love their friendship. I love them as like a trio. I think they're very interesting, and I love them in whatever pair kind of you have. Now, eventually there is kind of a romance between 2 of them, but it is very subtle and it does not affect their friendships at all. But especially Hardison and Spencer are 2 of my favorite guy friendships because they're so different. Like Hardison is like a computer person, but he's not like geeky. He's still built. And then Elliot is like, he's the hitter, so he like beats people up all the time. And it's just, they're so funny together and they have a great relationship. And my understanding is that Christian Kane and Aldous Hodge, who play the characters, a lot of their interactions are like ad-libbed, and I just feel like that brings a lot of organic, natural friendship to it. But I also do love Elliot and Parker is the girl, just because, and the show does a really good job of showing how different parts of the characters' personalities will come out when they're together. So like Parker can be very like aggressive and violent, but she tends to not be that way around like Hardison. But around Elliot, she will be because he's more violent, so she can let that part of herself come out. And I think that's interesting, and I think that's true for real friendships. So then there is Stitchers, which is the only show that's still on. Technically, it's not airing right now, but Freeform renewed it for season 3. I'm so excited. Finally, I have no idea when it's coming, but I'm so excited. And on here, it is a female friendship, and it is Kristen and Camille, and their friendship has been very like rocky, not very good friends in the beginning. See, the bitter enemy thing doesn't just work for romance, it also works for friendship. I just love them. I have a board on my Pinterest that's called like Sisters Before Misters, and they're basically like the reason I created that board is because they're so funny together. And Camille is played by Allison Scagliotti, who I love. She's from Warehouse 13, so I just like automatically came into a love. That's basically why I started watching the shows, because she was on it. Basically, that is why I started watching the show. What are we really kidding? But they're both very smart and independent, but very different. And I love reading about friendships, especially between women who are very different personality-wise, because I think it shows how you can have like a good solid friendship without being antagonistic. So then of course there's like my original, the bromance of my heart, which is Sean and Gus from Psych. I love them. I love a good bromance for some reason. I'm gonna call it a bromance, but I feel like bromance a lot of times is like mocked, and it feels very like surface friendship, but to me a bromance is deeper than that. So Sean and Gus, they've been friends forever, and I just love how they interact with each other, and Sean always gets Gus into like horrible situations, but Gus is there anyways because he's a good friend, and Sean really is a good friend too. And it's not perfect, but it's funny, and again, they're very different, but they work together, and I think that's always nice to see. It also makes writing them funny, so that's great. So then there is Castle, and for this, it's another guy friendship, and that's Castle, Esposito, and Ryan. And I do like Esposito and Ryan by themselves as well. I think that they are great little duo side characters. They add a ton of humor to the show, and they also have a very genuine relationship. It doesn't come out a lot, but you can see in certain episodes when things get serious how much they care about each other and how important they are to each other, and I think that's very nice to see. You don't see that a lot with male friendships, I feel like, because people are like, ooh, emotions and guys don't go together, blah, whatever. But Castle, Ryan, and Esposito are just fun to see. They always get into trouble when they are together, and I don't know, I just love seeing them. When you have an episode where the three of them get together and then Beckett is just like, what the hell am I dealing with all these crazy little boys for? So then there's Agent Carter, which I actually never saw the second season of Agent Carter. I'm gonna be honest with you, I should probably check it out, but I was just too scared to watch it. Based on season 1, I loved Peggy and Angie, and Angie wasn't in it too much, but she was in it enough, and I loved, again, like, how non-antagonistic they were with each other, and supportive of each other, and so I just like that, and how like Angie was just there for Peggy whenever she needed her, even if she wasn't telling her everything. Peggy and Jarvis. I did a whole video on my book channel. I think it was about Gallivant and Agent Carter, and about how I liked how gender roles were handled in Agent Carter and everything, because Jarvis tends to act kind of like in the feminine role, and then Peggy is more of the masculine character, but I like them together. I think that they're both very strong, well-written characters on their own, and together they just make a great little duo friendshipy thing. And then last, I had to include Firefly, of course, and really it's like the whole gang. I love all of the friendships on Serenity. Like, they're all different and how they all interact, both as like a big group and then as little individuals. Like, I love Kaylee and Inara, like their relationship with each other. I think it's very much like big sister, little sister kind of a thing, and that's just beautiful to see. I love Zoe and Mel, you know, like two soldiers who saw war and are now trying to deal with things, and it's interesting all the different dynamics you can have. It's a lot like Leverage, where it's like you just see them kind of put them together in different puzzles and see what happens. I hope this made sense. And I know I didn't talk about specifically what about like all the shows are about. I thought about doing that, but I didn't want to go really long. So if you're interested about any of the shows, just let me know. So these are my favorite friendships. If you have any TV shows with some really, really good friendships in any kind of combination, I'm talking with my hands all the time, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. I would love to check them out. And thank you so much for watching.